All right, y'all, we are 3 episodes into season 4, Snowfall, and it is just getting started. Let's talk about it. Things come to a head with Franklin and Officer Nixon after word gets back to him about Nixon rolling up on Franklin's dad at work. Franklin meets up with him to set him straight, letting him know that they are going to continue working at the rate that they had originally discussed and that there will be no more pop-ups or popping out of his lane. Franklin reminds him that the moment that he took the money, he really stopped having leverage over him. So he might want to fall back. So much of the start of this season had Franklin looking like he was only playing defense and just trying not to go under. And this moment is where we see Franklin switch to offense and really show that he is still a very big dog and everyone should fear his bite. This meeting obviously did not sit right with Officer Nixon because he goes to arrest Cissy, pulling her out of the home right in front of Franklin and Alton, claiming she had a complaint filed against her. He drives her to Andre's gravesite and tells her that Franklin killed Andre. But this is something that Cissy has known without anyone needing to tell her, including Franklin. Big mistake on Officer Nixon's part because Franklin's new political connections help him to deal with Officer Nixon gone rogue in the best and most above board way, y'all. It's so good. He gets him transferred and silenced because if he speaks up about any of this, he will also lose that job. This scene definitely had me on edge when he arrested Cissy and takes her to the gravesite. I thought something way worse was going to happen. It's getting real, y'all. But one thing that people need to know is that you do not mess with Franklin's family. It was definitely satisfying to watch Officer Nixon get the boot after he messed with Cissy like that. One of my favorite parts of the whole episode. I personally never thought Franklin would be the type to con anybody in the neighborhood, but it looks like he did, and he did it for the best interest of business. Franklin and Cissy have been in the process of getting their real estate business up and thriving, and unfortunately, Franklin had to trick Mr. and Mrs. Mosley into selling their family-owned bookstore. Franklin used his charm and his familial connections to coax them into believing that he was just going to invest in their business so that they would be able to stay afloat because they were already being pressured with foreclosure or having the property taken from them by the city. So literally the Mosleys thought, okay, we know this guy, he wants to help us, great. But turns out Franklin just needed that particular property to increase his political leverage with Paul Davidson, and he sells the property to him in a larger deal that helps solidify their union. Of course, this upsets the Mosleys, as this was a bookstore that had been in their family for the last 30 years. Franklin reminds them that they were going to lose it anyway, and y'all, I just don't know how I feel about this. Like, the way he went about it, it's like, yeah, they really were going to lose that place regardless. And they, Franklin bought it. He paid double market value and he's getting them a new location. It is just like how shadily he did it, right? Like, it was definitely very shady. And this introduced us to another side of Franklin. I feel like we are just pulling back layers. But then also I feel like new layers are developing as we continue to get to know Franklin, because he's completely different from the young boy that we met in season 1. While Franklin is handling business on his end, it looks like Leon and Fatback are doing their best to keep money coming in with their current drug supplier. And y'all, we already saw that Leon is struggling. He needs to just go back to Franklin. I need them to stop fighting. There's way too much going on for them to be beefing right now. Like, cut it out. And Wanda, child, we get to see Wanda in this episode, who is clearly still strung out on that rock. I think this large portion of the episode dedicated to showing what's going on with Wanda when she is actually using and then realizes that she's losing a teeth. There's this super gruesome bloody moment where she is able to just pull her tooth out, and that's definitely from her drug use. And then also we see Leon stop her from zapping out on a drug dealer because she's short and she's tweaking out like a drug user would. And I think that this moment is just to show us the prelude to what we're going to experience with Wanda. I think that they're really going to give us a full story arc with Wanda. And look, Mel got clean. Maybe we're about to see the redemption of Wanda. I love Wanda and Leon together, so I just really want them to figure it out. All right, so now get into Gustavo and Teddy slash Reed or whatever y'all want to call him. Gustavo is out for revenge and blood after he found his family members were brutally murdered in their home after having the run-in last episode with the border police. And this might sound crazy, but who else didn't know that Gustavo didn't know that Teddy was CIA? In this episode, we actually get that reveal because Gustavo goes on this basically suicide mission. He wants to take guns and go into the police station and just shoot it up, and Teddy comes in right in time to catch him, see what he's doing, and then prevent him from actually going through with it. And in that moment, he has to reveal that he is actually with the government because they actually take him to a warehouse, have him chained up, and then we get the reveal that Gustavo had no idea this whole time. But I'm really trying to figure out how he didn't know. Teddy was looking to stay on mission and keep Gustavo's trust, so he had to be a part of the plan to go and take out those sheriffs who killed Gustavo's family before they could get back to business. Everything is all good because Teddy calls in backup and they agree to help them eliminate the threat as long as they don't kill anyone on Tijuana soil and they don't kick up any smoke or make any noise. And Gustavo didn't get the message because he decides to go up into a strip club and send a message that sends the sheriff and his men hiding, but he kills one of the people in the club in the process. That was against the rules. So, Reed and Gustavo have to take on the sheriff and all of his men on their own at this remote location at his house, and luckily they succeed at doing so. And we see Irene digging hella deep, y'all. She's uncovering more of the truth in each episode, and with the deeper she digs, the more danger she may eventually be getting herself into. And one more important takeaway from this episode is that we know and see that in the future, Manboy wants Franklin out. He definitely throws some shade when Louie and Jerome meet up with him to do an exchange, and he hints that the business was better and easier without Franklin in the picture. If I was Manboy, I would just stay in my place, but I'm not, and Manboy's Manboy, so it's gonna be on. Alright y'all, that's all I have for the season 4 episode 3 recap. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comment section down below. Do you think that we're going to get to see Scully more in next episode? What do you think is happening in Franklin's head? Or just what do you think is coming next? There are so many things happening within this series. Sometimes it can be a little hard to keep up with all of the different storylines, but I love it. It is a beautifully shot, phenomenally written story that is great to tune into and definitely entertaining, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm Erica Vane, and I post television and film recaps, reviews, entertainment news, and chit chats with you. You should join the tribe by hitting subscribe. If you missed my last week's Snowfall recap and breakdown video, you can watch it here, or you can catch up on all my Snowfall videos in this Snowfall playlist here. Bye.